what I seen. I wish I had a good man like Papoose. Remy might now want Papoose back, and he done moved.
Remy had once admired Papoose for his strength, loyalty, and love. Their relationship had seemed so perfect at the beginning, filled with passion, dreams, and an undeniable connection. She was proud to have someone like him by her side, a man who had stood by her through thick and thin, especially in the chaos of the music industry. But as time went on, things began to change, and the cracks in their seemingly perfect love story started to show. The turning point was a night that Remy would never forget. It all started innocently enough. Just another day in New York with the usual bustle of city life, the constant hum of cars, and the sound of people rushing by. Remy stood on a crowded street corner, glancing at her phone, waiting for her girlfriend, Vanessa. At first, everything seemed normal, but something felt different today. The air was heavy, the sounds of the city felt more distant, and Remy couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Remy and Vanessa had been together for a while now, and their whirlwind romance had seemed like a fairy tale. When they first met, Vanessa's magnetic energy had pulled Remy in immediately. She was beautiful, full of life, and confident in a way that made her seem untouchable. Remy had been drawn to her, especially after years of loneliness in the music industry. Vanessa filled a void that Remy hadn't even known existed. Their bond was intense, passionate, and electric. They shared dreams, ambitions, and a vision of the future together. For a time, everything felt perfect. However, as the days went by, small issues began to creep in. Misunderstandings, missed calls, and moments when one of them would snap in frustration started to erode the foundation they had built together. The passion that had once been so thrilling began to feel like a burden. Remy, used to taking control in her career, found herself struggling in the relationship. Vanessa, who had her own strong will, wasn't afraid to challenge Remy, something that was new to her. At first, Remy found it exhilarating, but soon, the constant disagreements wore her down. The arguments between them became more frequent, and the line between love and frustration blurred. Remy tried to remain calm, trying to be the rock Vanessa needed, but the strain of the relationship began to take its toll. No matter what she did, it never seemed to be enough. The words exchanged during their fights began to hurt more, carving deeper into the foundation they once shared. Remy's pride and need to stay in control began to clash with Vanessa's stubbornness. For the first time, Remy wasn't sure how to handle the situation. The calm before the storm was over, and the tension between them felt like a ticking time bomb. As Remy waited for Vanessa, she felt the weight of the uncertainty in her heart. She had tried everything to make things right, but both of them had scars from their past that they couldn't escape. Vanessa had her own issues and traumas, and Remy had spent years building walls around her heart to protect herself from the pain of betrayal. But they had promised each other that they would make it work. Still, today, Remy felt that the walls they had built were slowly crumbling. When Vanessa arrived, Remy could sense the shift in the air. There was a look in Vanessa's eyes that Remy had never seen before. It was distant and unreadable. Remy's heart raced as the moment seemed to slow down, and for a brief moment, the world around them came to a halt. Vanessa spoke softly but firmly, her voice carrying an unmistakable tension. "We need to talk," she said, and Remy knew that the conversation they were about to have would change everything. They talked for what felt like hours, discussing their fears, frustrations, and the painful truth that their relationship was no longer working. Neither of them wanted to admit it, but the reality was unavoidable. The love they had once shared was now under the weight of unresolved issues. Their relationship was teetering on the edge of destruction, and neither of them knew if it was worth saving. The storm that had been building for weeks had finally arrived, and there was no turning back. It was no longer just about love. It was about survival. Both had fought so hard for their dreams, but now they were left to decide whether to fight for each other or risk losing everything. But the tension between them wasn't helped by the fact that Vanessa never hesitated to push back when she felt something was wrong. This time, something inside Remy snapped, and in a moment of anger, she did something that shocked both of them. One night, after a particularly heated argument, Remy found herself overcome with rage. The anger that had been building inside her for so long exploded in a way she had never experienced before. In the heat of the moment, her hands, once used to uplift and comfort, found themselves around Vanessa's throat. It was an act that neither of them could ignore. The violence in the air was palpable, and Remy, for the first time, lost control of herself completely. The fight wasn't just a fight anymore. It was a turning point, a moment that would change the course of their relationship forever. Vanessa, in shock and pain, struggled to breathe, and in that instant, Remy's anger subsided. She realized the gravity of what had just happened and was overcome with guilt and regret. She had crossed an irreversible line, and she knew that there was no coming back from this. Vanessa, trembling, reached for her phone and dialed 911, her voice frantic as she pleaded for help. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air and the police arrived at the scene. Remy was arrested immediately, her world unraveling as she was taken into custody. The severity of the situation became clear as she was put in handcuffs and led away. The police lights reflected off the buildings, and Remy's life as she had known it came crashing down around her. In the days that followed, Remy was left to confront the consequences of her actions. She had been known for her strength, her confidence, and her ability to overcome anything life threw her way. But now, she found herself in a prison cell, stripped of all the power and influence she once had. The fame, the wealth, the respect, none of it mattered anymore. She was no longer the woman who commanded the stage and the respect of the music world. She was just another inmate, trying to process the pain she had caused and the life she had lost. Meanwhile, Vanessa, devastated by what had happened, struggled with her own feelings of betrayal. She had never imagined that their relationship would end this way. The love she had once felt for Remy now felt distant, tainted by the violence that had erupted between them. As the days passed, the weight of the situation only grew heavier. Remy's arrest, the public scrutiny, and the legal battles only added to the turmoil that had consumed their lives. The drama surrounding their relationship didn't end with Remy's arrest. It continued to play out in the media, with accusations of infidelity, betrayal, and emotional turmoil taking center stage. Papoose, who had always been a pillar of support for Remy, found himself caught in the middle of the mess. Their breakup had hit the public eye, and rumors began swirling that Remy was involved with Vanessa, further complicating the already tense situation. Papoose, who had stood by Remy through it all, began to feel the strain of the constant drama. The public began questioning his loyalty to Remy, especially after rumors surfaced about his own relationship with another woman. The tension between him and Remy grew, and fans were left wondering whether their once strong relationship could ever recover. Amidst the chaos, the court ruling came down, and Vanessa was awarded $30 million in spousal support. It was a life-altering event, not just financially, but emotionally as well. For Papoose, it was a reminder of everything that had been lost. Despite his attempts to support Remy, the relationship had become irreparably damaged. And as he reflected on the $30 million ruling, he couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. He had stood by Remy for so long, but now he realized it was time to move on. The story of Remy and Papoose is a poignant reminder of the complexities of love, power, and personal growth. Despite their many struggles, they had shared a bond that was once unbreakable. But sometimes, no matter how strong the connection, life throws challenges that are too difficult to overcome. And when emotions, pride, and unresolved issues come to the surface, relationships can unravel in the blink of an eye. As Remy begins to rebuild her life, she is left to confront the pain and regret of her actions. Papoose, too, must come to terms with the fallout from their relationship and the public drama that has followed them both. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear sometimes: the toughest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. In the end, Remy's journey is a testament to the power of self-reflection, accountability, and the hope for healing. Relationships may crumble, but through strength, love, and perseverance, there is always a chance to rebuild and find peace again. Whether or not Remy and Papoose can find their way back to each other remains to be seen, but for now, both must focus on healing from the past and finding a way to move forward in a world that is constantly changing.